I don't think there is any write-up that you would do, be it your literature review, your dissertation, your thesis, your essay, name it, that you would write and you would not put your words in paragraphs. It's not possible. Now, what is the essence of a paragraph? The paragraph will allow for your reader to understand what you're trying to communicate in a cohesive, consistent flow. That means your paragraph has to come in a particular format such that we can follow through and like go with you on that journey of what you're trying to communicate. So each paragraph has its essence, which is why it is important that you understand how to draft a proper paragraph. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is it that your paragraph should contain. That's all we're going to be covering. I have a previous video that's spoken about paragraph where I've shown you examples. I mean, I'll probably show more examples later, but in this video, we're just going to talk about it. What is it that your paragraph must contain? Must be in the word. What must it contain? Now, just like your whole essay, it has the introduction, it has the body, it has the conclusion. Now, that's for the entire essay. For your paragraph, it is important that each paragraph has its introduction, has its body, and has its conclusion. There is a reason for that. Now, for every paragraph, the way I do it is one paragraph equals 1 point, which means there is one key message I am trying to pass in every paragraph that I write. So the way I communicate that will tell my reader what I am trying to say, and then for them to follow the line of thought or the way I was thinking when I was drafting that particular paragraph. Now, your introduction might be a single liner. What does that mean? It might be a single sentence just introducing the entire paragraph. And then your body can then be like 3 or 4 sentences or 5. And then you have a conclusion from that. So that gives us a flow of the point you're trying to pass. Now, the main point here is for every paragraph must be either critical or you trying to synthesize some information. What does this mean? This means that you are not allowed to have a descriptive paragraph. If you've watched my video, if you've watched any of my videos, you're not allowed to write any paragraph and it will be descriptive. And I'm going to tell you how you would make sure you don't write a descriptive paragraph. Now, when you start with your introduction, say for example, the rate of obesity in the UK is 76%. That's just me, just coming up with a random example. And then you go on to say this rate, go on to say all the things that has happened as a result of this rate. What you want to do next with that is you want to synthesize. What does that mean? So for every sentence you make, for every key sentence, we call them assertions. So if I say obesity is having a high impact on the healthcare sector in the UK, the next thing that should follow for your work not to be descriptive is what does that mean? Now, what does that mean could be such that you back it with statistics. It could be such that you detail that to now say, according to maybe this person, according to the policy that was released, according to data that has been published, it showed that 76% of this has this. Do you understand? You bring all of those examples in and you do not finish there. You then synthesize based on everything that you have said. What does that mean? That does not necessarily have to be something you would cite. It might be the writer's opinion, which means your introduction could be an assertion, your main body within your paragraph. Now, remember we're talking about the paragraph, not the entire essay. So your introduction to that paragraph could be an assertion, which is obesity has a huge impact on the healthcare sector in the UK. According to maybe a particular policy, 10-year plan, LDR Wales, it says that 62% of children are now obese, and therefore if that continues on an upward trend, this is going to happen, that is going to happen, it's going to have this impact on the economy of the NHS, like that. You're giving us reasons why, backing it up by evidence. Now you want to synthesize all that evidence. That is your conclusion, which is why I said if you watch my videos, you can never be descriptive. You then synthesize all of that. What do I mean by sentences? Now, all of these numbers, what does it tell you? All of these things, what does it tell you? It literally confirms your initial assertion. Just put that down as your conclusion in your own words. Now, this means if the trend continues or if things keep going as they are, just draw a conclusion from that. Now, it doesn't stop there. However you choose to draw that conclusion based on the point you're trying to make, it needs to now follow a flow such that, remember, if you have a next paragraph, the previous paragraph has to link to the next paragraph. So it needs to follow, there needs to be a flow. If there is no flow, rearrange your paragraph, which is why I tell students that before you start writing, have your points. sometimes not all the points follow each other, but if you rearrange them in such a way that you're able to say, oh, this should come first, that should come next, then you have a flow. So if that makes sense. Yeah. So I hope you've liked, I hope you've subscribed so far. So you continue that way up until conclusion. When you're concluding your work, I'm just going to add that to this because I mean, we're talking about paragraph and conclusion is one of the paragraphs. So if you're concluding your piece of work, number one, I'm sure by now you've learned that you should not introduce a new piece of information within your conclusion. That's not allowed. So within that conclusion, you then want to put all of your paragraphs together. What key message are you trying to pass? Do not try to now narrate each paragraph again. Do not try to narrate all the points again. But you now want to say, it's funny when I see people write their conclusion and still put loads of references in. The way I see conclusion is that final synthesis, which is my way to be extra critical about what I have written. So it's your closing. And you know, the way you leave, the way you close on the stage is such that people will clap for you. Hey, good. That's how you should see your conclusion. So it's such that you want to bring all of your points together to say, I have said all these things, right? This is my view. But not necessarily from a personal viewpoint, right? It's mostly from the articles you have used, the points you have made, and then you make that synthesis from it. So that's your conclusion, and that's the final closing. So I think it's important you know that. So that's what your paragraph should look like. There's no BS here. There's no, I mean, I could just ramble on and make the video extremely long, but it's not worth it. The main thing I want you to get from this video is, if you're writing a paragraph, it must have an introduction, which should be an assertion. Very short, simple. This is the sentence I'm trying to make. Obesity is bad. Boom. Next, you back it up with evidence. What are the evidence? That should be your body. This. Has that evidence led to anything? That might be part of your body as well. So it has led to high blood pressure, this, that, da. Put it like that. And then make a synthesis from it. Remember that the body as well has to be referenced. Now, the last bit of it, which is supposed to be like the conclusion of the paragraph, not the conclusion of the essay, remember, then that's your synthesis. The essence of your synthesis is for you to be able to say, A has said this, B has said this, D has said, everyone has said so many things. Putting everything they've said together, what is that key thing that is popping out at you? What do you think they're trying to say? This is where you have your say. That's where your synthesis comes in. That's where you synthesize everything they've written, put it together to make a cohesive point. I hope that this has been able to simplify what your paragraph should look like for you. Now, I'll be making subsequent videos about how to reference appropriately. I've had so many questions on that, and I'll be doing that in subsequent videos. So be on the lookout for it, along with referencing softwares that you can use. I hope you've liked this video. I hope you've subscribed. And if you need to send this to your friends, please do so. Until I see you again in my next video, make sure you put a smile on somebody's face. Bye.